Well, for me, Mendable is a safe space, whether it be, in a community, wherever it is, for people to really share themselves and be accepted for being themselves.
I have gratitude in the fact that I made it through.
So all of anxiety, every form of anxiety, is a sense of losing control or loss of control.
But if you can throw out that energy of positivity and kindness and smile, it changes the world.
Well, hello from rural Somerset in the beautiful southwest of England. And I'm here in a place which is very close to Glastonbury. And anybody watching in the UK will know the Glastonbury Music Festival, which is a huge event that's held every summer. But that's not the only famous thing about this area, because it's also the home of Amos Hurst. And in fact, it is a great delight for me to be here at his home today. And Amos is also the patriarch of Mendable, Sophia's dad, and more affectionately known as Papa Amos. So, Amos, great to be here and great to have the opportunity to chat to you today.
Nice to see you then. Yeah. Nice to see you too. Yeah.
So, I want to talk about a lot of things. I want to talk about Mendable. I want to talk about your history and the challenges that you've had in your life. But before coming over to Amos's house here this morning, he took me to his allotment. And so let's just watch a little clip from what we did there this morning. Here we are. So this is where you spend your time?
Yes, I spend my time here because it's like my second home. So now we're just preparing to start growing things. That's around that sticks. All that's onions. Now all this is the beans.
Okay.
These
racks here, yes. This is where you're going to have your beans.
The French climbing beans, I plant them over there. These are the ones that I love more now. Those are the garlics over there. Yeah, because the garlics, no matter how snow or frost or anything, they can't hurt garlics.
Really?
No.
Oh, I didn't know that.
We plant garlics in the winter. This is raspberry. I trim them because they will be coming up soon. And this is blackcurrant. If you look on the top to see how quick they start growing back now, this is blackcurrant, and these are absolutely a gem. Yeah, that's my compost heap because I don't use any artificial thing. I just get the compost. All those growing there is blackberries, and I have some in my freezer now. All those are blackberries. In here now is my second house. This is my relaxing seat. When I come sometime, I sit there and I go off to sleep when I'm tired. So this is, as I said, this is my second home. If you come sometime, you would see lots of hawk and everything there. But we haven't got any problem down here. It's just a friendly place. And you see the bees, them start coming around now to do the thing. It's lovely down here, and it's so friendly. It's like another house. That's why I love it.
It is your second home?
It is my second home.
Yeah.
It's great. It's absolutely lovely.
So, Amos, your allotment clearly is somewhere that's very important to you, and great that you've got that. It must be a great therapy for you to spend time down there and get with nature, plants and everything you love to do.
Yes, it is. It is my second home really, because it's so relaxed in there, and knowing that I'm going to grow my own things, and they're 100% organic, and the friendship and that allotment, because we have many people there and we're all friends. Yeah. It's just one thing I stop them from work sometime because I chat so much. But yes, that's my second home, and I love it there. And I started it since 1986, and I'm still there. I helped to run it, and last year I just had enough in the committee and I resigned, but I'm not going to give up that allotment right throughout my life, and that's a long time to go.
So talking about homes, your original home was Jamaica.
Yes.
You grew up in Jamaica. And as a young man, you took the decision to migrate to the UK, and you ended up in London. How old were you when you decided to come to England, and what was the reason for your decision?
Yeah, well, I was in my 20s. Well, the thing is, my father had a small farm, and he grew tobacco, he grew every vegetable you can think of. He's got over 200 chickens, goats, pigs, so we have to look after it. But there was a white American lady there who ran the church named Friends Church, and one day she said, "Why don't you take him to Gray's Inn Sugar Factory?" There was a sugar factory they called Gray's Inn. It's about, say, 8 miles from where we live. Make sugar and rum, to go up and let him do some apprentice there. So he did, and they take me there as apprentice to learn engineering. So I started it, and I stayed there. And when I passed my test, they give me when I finished my training, they give me a department to run, what they call the vacuum pump that sprint the air through the place. But there was a Scottish man there who is the chief engineer, and he keep talking about England, and because he was living in England, I mean, that was home. And I get to sort of a few of us said we would like to go there. And I had 2 sisters living here then. Anyhow, they said that if I get to come to England, I said we would like to go to England. He said they give us time. That if we come to England and we stay there, because I did want to come and develop my skill and work. And in those days, every Jamaican leave Jamaica to come to England. They said they're coming to England for 5 years, no more, just to waste fun to come back to Jamaica. But unfortunately, they couldn't make the money, so they stay. And every Jamaica come in that time, because I came here in 1961. But all people used to come before me. So that's the way I come. It's not Windrush had nothing to do with me or anything like that. So anyway, my mom asked my mom to send for my passport, and my father did pass away then. That's only my mom. So I get my passport, and I come over.
And how was the reception when you arrived in England? Was it a culture shock? Obviously, the weather is very different.
Yes. It was funny because when I got the car, my sister was gone to work and her husband, and they know I was coming, but not when. So I get a taxi from Heathrow Airport, and then when I was coming, I saw the smoke through the chimney. So I didn't know what, so I thought it was a factory. So I even write back to my parents and say, tons of factories in England, not me. But yes, then that's the reception I get, and it was very, 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 very good. I did love the place. I love it when I look on it.
And you settled initially in London?
Yes, I settled in Lewisham in London, and I lived there for some time.
Yeah, quite close to where I grew up in Clapham, so not really that far away.
No.
And then after a while, you married, you had 2 kids, Sophia and her sister Naomi.
Yes.
And then you had a serious health issue that hit you all of a sudden. Can you tell me a little about that?
Yes. I was working in the youth service counseling young people those days, and when they were babies, Sophia and Naomi was little, I had an Iranian friend of ours who have 2 children, which we're great friends too. So we went away camping, and then I went up to in a field camp, go to holiday, and then one morning I get up, I see some symptom, and then I get up and I said, what the hell is this? And then the following time again is the same. So when I got back, I said, I'm going to have to go to my doctor. So I went to my doctor, and then when I went to my doctor, he prescribed something and said it must be some blood, what they call it, I can't remember the name what he said, but it's nothing much. But he decided I'm not going to stay because it's continue, and when I have a urine it burns and all that. So every morning I get up, I look, Anyhow, I went to the hospital and they said they want to give me a scan. So they take me in and they scan me, they put me out to sleep and they scan me. What they do, I don't know. And then a couple of weeks ago they called me back again and said, we're not happy of what we see. Could you come back and have another one? So when I went back and have the other one, the consultant said, Mr. Hurst, I think you have bladder cancer. Anyhow, he said to me, we will try and do something about it. And they give me another scan again. And then they said, yes, it is definitely a bladder cancer. And they asked me, they give me a choice. Would you like either we take your bladder out, put a bag on your side, and later on we might find a bladder for you and put it in, or we give you radiation treatment. And those days radiation treatment was hell. People don't want to know about that. But I didn't want to sort of bug at my side, so I opted for the radiation treatment.
Yeah. And the prognosis was not that good. You weren't given a long life, were you? No,
well, that's the thing, you see. 4.5 weeks after they said they're going to give me a scan and see. When they scanned me, the consultant called me and said, Mr. Hurst, it's not good luck. I don't know if you're going to make it because you have prostate cancer too. Mm. But it didn't, when I got my radiation treatment, it didn't sort of hit me it hit me, yes. But I didn't stop me from going to work because I have a friend of Sophie's mother who used to teach across Islington. So she used to take me and then she dropped me back at work. I always have to go to work. All the education authorities said take time off. But I said no, I would stay and work. So I still continue to work and take my radiation treatment. And then they said, all right, we are going to give you the radiation treatment. They stopped the radiation treatment, it's about a week after or something like that, and said they're going to put some sort of a hormone tablet to try it.
And how long did they give you at that time?
Well, they didn't. They only said they didn't think I was going to make it. So every month I was to go into the hospital and they push something up me and check me and that's why I move over to Somerset, you see. That's why I move over to come to the West Country, because I do too much in London. And then I come up, I used to smoke a lot. I stopped smoke, I can't remember, it's 67, whatever. But they say if I didn't stop smoke, then it's a good thing I did stop smoke, otherwise I wouldn't make it. When I moved to Somerset, I went back to London every month for my test, but they said, no, it's too far. Go to Taunton, Musgrove Hospital and take my test. So I go and take it. So one day, the consultant said, Mr. Hurst, could you meet me in Mendip Hospital, West Mendip Hospital in Wales, not Taunton, because I want to talk to you. So I went, I remember taking Sophia with me, my daughter. And he went and he go in and he looked on the paper and it said, Mr. Hurst, you're very lucky. And I said, why? He said, we don't want to see you again unless you have any symptom. And now before that, when they want to give me the radiation treatment, the consultant in London said, we will try and burn it out. And when he said burn it out, he made me feel a bit funny. Anyhow, the doctor said, the consultant said in West Mendip Hospital that I am lucky because they did give you 5 years to live. I was really surprised. And I'm pleased that they didn't tell me that, because perhaps I would just stress myself out and die. Yeah. But when I got out, I said, thank you. And he said, if you feel any other symptom, then you come back. But the chance of you having these not that you won't have cancer, but the chance of you have this sort of cancer is almost remote. And when I tell Sophie, when I get out the room and tell Sophie smiled and said, Dad, I know, because my mom went to the consultant and told my mom Then she said, the consultant said, put it this way, Mrs. Hurst, he's not going to live to see children grow up. So I should have died. They give me 5 years to live, so I should have died 1990.
And here we are 40 years later.
40 years later, and I'm still here. And I'm feeling lots better now, because the thing is, you see, I just don't believe, I put it in my mind that is a mistake they make, although it's not. I know.
So obviously it was a huge challenge physically. You had to go through those treatments that you had, which must have been very difficult, but it must have taken a huge amount of mental energy and positivity. Where did you get the mental energy to deal with this?
That's the thing, you see. I don't know. That's why I always say that I'm not human, because it's just come to me, and I say I'm not going anywhere. And especially the two children, the two daughters, my two daughters. I have more children, but my two daughters is around me all the while, and it's in my mind mentally that I'm not going to leave them to go anywhere. I don't know, but I don't know where it's come from.
Yeah.
I don't know where it come from, but I never plan to go anywhere, and even now I don't.
And that positivity, I've heard you talk in the Mendable Room many times, and you always seem to have words of comfort, words of wisdom, to talk to people when they're going through a bad time and give them encouragement. So it's great that you're able to do that. And talking specifically about Mendable, you were there from the very beginning because Sophia created it.
Yeah.
Did you ever see a time in your life when you would participate in something that had such a meaning for mental health, vulnerability, and talking about feelings that way?
Never, ever, because we never talk about that.
Yeah.
No, never talk about mental health.
So going back to, say, your childhood and when you were a young man, if you were dealing with something in terms of a mental illness, depression, anxiety, what would you have done?
Well, first of all, in Jamaica those days, they never know about the word mental health, never there, until I even come here in the 60s, when I come here. If you're ill, they've got a big, massive place in Kingston that they call the Madhouse. And that's where if you have that mental illness, they don't say mental, they say you're gone mad. And they put you in that place. And it's not that sort of not that they don't treat them right, but they just put them there to keep them from doing anything bad, or they got medical help, but they don't sort of have any mental training to help them back into place. And that was really bad. And as I said, the word mental wasn't there, just Madhouse, and that's all. Just Madhouse there. So and if we have problem, we didn't share it with anyone.
And you probably also witnessed huge gender differences as well, that men were supposed to be tough and tough it out.
Yes, that's it. They said, men, you can do it because you're a man. And you wouldn't find a man, if you see a man crying in Jamaica, then you say he's an idiot. You're not supposed to do that because you're strong. Women's supposed to be the weak person in there. And that was, I suppose it's the time and all these things happen, because if you go into a bar in Jamaica and a woman, you don't see one woman in there serving in there, all men. And you don't see a woman smoking, because if you see a woman smoking on the street there, then not say they're in trouble. People look on them like they're nobody. So they're not supposed to do it. So the gender thing, men was the ruler.
So the world has come a long way.
Oh, very, very long way since I was born, and that's a long time.
The world has come a long way since I was born, growing up here in England. So, I recognize the huge differences. So when did you first learn what Sophia was doing about Mendable?
I can't quite remember, but she told me about it and asked me to join. And I said no. Yeah, because the online thing, and I didn't know what it was. And then I decided one night that I'm going to go on it. And I went on it that first night, and that took a hell of a lot of change in me. Because when I have my cancer, I don't go around and talk to anyone about it apart from sort of might a good friend, and if they go and tell anyone and all that, it just bothered you. But now, because of that, this mendable thing, it pushed me pushed me out that nothing I hide about my illness, and not only my illness, but if I have had a problem.
So I would say, from what I've witnessed, what you pour into other people is more than you actually take back. And I know that people have been there for you, and when you've gone through hard times, people are always very supportive. But that reflects on you outside of Mendable as well, because you do a lot of good work in the community, especially with the younger generation. Would you tell me a little about the work that you do?
When I leave London, I thought I was going to come in here to have a rest and chill out, because that's what the education people tell me in London. Because you see, in a London Education Authority, I used to work with counselling young people throughout Camden, all over the place. Someone did know me, what I had done in London, and I came out here doing just to relax and chill out and do nothing. And they asked me if I can come and counsel some kids in Taunton. And I said yes, not for money, just they could give me my local council, the local people in Taunton, the council. So they give me money for my petrol and all that. So I go and I start counseling them. Even now, one of the guy who rang me this morning, he's gay, and I haven't seen him for a long while. And then I bump into him when we have some project doing at the college, and he invited me to his wedding in Blackpool, and now we're good friend of his and his husband.
Yeah. And you do a lot of counselling with young people in the criminal justice system?
Yes, and lots of people, lots of family that I know and talk about children, they're young people and problem, I talk to them. Talk to the thing, and every young people. There's not many places you go and you see all young people, you get on with them, and they said, and that's what I did, the counseling, help them counsel. And they had a thing they called some years ago, they had a thing, the council run something they called the Befrienders scheme. And that's if people go into mental home and they come out back and they stay in their house, I go there, take them out for a drink or lunch, and then we go out and talk, and they have some 2 hours, you stay with them and take them back to their house and chat just to smooth them down. This Mendable didn't started yet, it's a long time ago. So that's I do, and I do that counseling. And now someone asked me to go and they join a thing they call the IAG, Independent Advisory Group, which a few people from the committees, about 8 of us on it for the whole this part of the West. We have meeting every month, and not every month, every year, sometimes 4 or 5 times, and talk about how we can best help the community to be safe and things. So we have a meeting, and they tell me about all the crime. Even yesterday morning, one of the police come and spend nearly 2 hours with me, the head of the police around, and chatting about the crime and how best to help them, how best to solve it. And if someone in this village have problem with the police or any problem, if they can't get the police to come, they call me, and if I call the police, they will come, because it's the agreement they make with the police and the community, you see. So I do that.
So you're like a go-between?
Yes, go-between, and we talk about that. That's one of the things, is a go-between, but helping the people to get the police. Because, did I tell you, during the virus, they used to blame the Chinese for and restaurant and Chinese shop. They asked me to go around the restaurant and talk to the people and tell them that, and give them my phone number and tell them to call me if anything happens, if they get any problem with people coming in to do that. So that's sort of things I do.
Yeah.
You see, and as I always said, I don't work, I don't do anything for anyone without getting pay. But my pay is not money. If you give me money, if I do something for you and you give me money, that's an insult. The satisfaction I get is I come in this room And I jump in my bed and I say, and I sleep well because I know I've done something for someone, not the money at all.
Yeah.
So that's my life. And perhaps that's what keeps me going, you see.
Amos, that's great work that you do, and I hope you continue it for a long time.
Yeah, I'll come with it. And another thing again, I never hardly ever hear anything racism.
Yeah.
Because, as I said, if someone did something wrong, do something wrong to me, if they don't hit me physically, then that's different. But they've got a problem. I always said that in the meeting too. And many, many more things I've done in the thing. We hold meeting with the council, and then we work together with the committee. But my happiness, one of my main happiness, is my two daughters, Naomi and Sophie.
Yeah.
Because they are the person that keep me. I have other children, but they are the person that keep me going because they're both sides of me. Yeah. So that's what I do, and I'm happy. My nephew called me the other day, and he said, "Uncle, how you do that? You're not a rich man, but you're happy all the while." I said, "Yes, that's how your life should live." Because as they bring up this thing, love yourself. But I never think about love yourself. But I did love myself, but I never think about the word. So all that helped me, and then I can help start from 1 to 2. I feel like more helping people because more than even myself. And that's what keeps me going. And if I can remember, say, have it in my mind like I have it now, that I've done something for someone and it helps them, that helped me to continue to go, you see.
Yeah. So where do you go for inspiration? Is there any person, living or dead, or anything that really helps you to get your inspiration and your energy and your fortitude?
Well, one person that I get more inspiration, it's going to be sort of emotional now because I went to his funeral on the 19th. It's an Australian friend of mine named Mike Steele. I can call the name because he always liked me to do that, anything, because he's so honest. He was working at the House of Commons as a journalist. And that's why I go to Prime Minister at question time quite a lot. I go and sit up there and listen to Prime Minister at question time. And he was the one that sort of inspired me to do things. He was the one that asked me to come and join the police things in London, that I had to go to prison and visit young people and all that sort of thing. He was the one that started many, many projects to help black people, and he's white, to help black people to get into government. Yeah? Because in the 60s you don't find any black people in a government job. They do the labor work. And he get me to recruit people. Full-time, I was doing full-time for some month work to raise the fund from the council and the government to recruit black people to go to Goldsmith College and get someone to teach them to work in the administrative office in the council. And that was in the early 80s. Yeah. And I know him I met him since the 60s. But we become good friend. And then he went to the council and asked the council, almost demand the council employ black people into the minority into the council, and it moved from there. And people don't know it. Many people don't know it, but it escalated from there throughout the country. Because they started in Lewisham, they started around. Because you didn't see any black MP, no black nothing. And that escalated. So he will inspire me so much. And I go to the college, go to Goldsmith College, and I learn about it. And I went to another college again and the counseling. But I was working with the Education Authority at the time. But he inspired me. No one else in the world. And who keep me going, as I said, my 2 children, mostly. But he was the man And I miss him in the world, and I miss now my sibling that passed. And when I went to his funeral last Monday, they asked me to give a speech. And when I finished his speech, they asked me to give another one after we come from the church. But that's the man that inspired me. He inspired me. He do every step that I make. He helps me to do it. He pushed me on. Although he might be there physically to do it, but looking into what he moved me to make me step forward, and that's my inspiration.
Yeah.
I never forget him.
Yeah.
No.
I'm sure you're going to be an inspiration for a lot of people as well.
Well, I'm not sure. I'm not sure, but I hope people could live together as human and help each other.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question before we wrap up. Is what is your dream? If there's one thing in the world, or more than one thing in the world that you would like to see happen, what would it be?
What I would like to see happen is my children and my grandchildren. That's number one. Get up and live a happy life. That's the thing. And the other thing again, what I can't change, is that the world become more peaceful and people love each other. Because as I said, I come into this world with one thing. One thing I come in this world with, and I can't go out back with it. So I want to live my life and live happy. Sometimes anything might happen and I don't like it. I think about it, not saying mentally, but and I tell you the thing that I come in this world and can't go out back with is the breathing, the hair that coming out me. When I born, hair coming out me. Now when we were going back, all the hair's gone. So you can't take that. You can't take money. You can't take that. And that's the thing I would like to see people just help each others, and that is everyone in the world can't be the same, because as I said, I don't want to live in a world that everyone is the same, because it would be boring. Because you'll be talking about the same thing all the while, but you must learn to live with that as a human, and that's one of the things that keep me going.
Good.
You see, and I am going to keep. I intend to. I haven't got any plans. Say I'm going to go anywhere. I'm staying right here to nag my two daughters. So that's the thing I would like. I'd like them to. My family-wise, I would like those two girls and their children, all my children, because I got more children. But these two is squeeze me all the while, because one that side and one that side. One live down there, one live there. And if I want them 24/7, I'll get them. And 24/7, if they know that they need me, I am here. And that's one of the main things in the world I would like to see, that no one trouble them, because if anyone hurt them physically, then they hurt me. And I say I don't like pain, so I don't inflict it on people. But if they make them pain, give them pain, then I'll have to give them pain back. And that's all I want to see is them. And when, as I said, I'm not going anywhere, I want to stay here to make sure that they live their happy life. Yeah.
And you'll be in the Mendable room on Mondays and Wednesdays?
Yes, I don't want to come out of that room at all. Sorry.
Would you like to tell everybody the times, or shall I do it?
No. No, if you teach me, perhaps I'll do it once. No, the thing, I said I couldn't, because of my Jamaican thing and all that, I couldn't, if they asked me to run the room one night, I couldn't. Because the names, I would sort of, because I lost everything when I leave Jamaica and come to England. I lost everything, my eating habit, my entertainment habit, everything. But one thing I won't lose is my accent. I'm here now 60 odd years, more longer than I'm in Jamaica, and I wouldn't lose my accent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's something that will always be with you.
Oh, definitely.
Good. All right. Amos, this has been great to come down here and talk to you today and record this on camera for everybody. And may you have much more of a happy life and have time with your children and your grandchildren and be there as an inspiration for other people as well.
And thank you. Thanks for coming. You don't know, because the first time I meet you, I see, it's because that's the thing, I learned to empathize. I can sort of read, that's the thing again, I can almost read something in someone's mind sometime. And from the first time I see you, I said, you're a great man.
Oh.
And thanks again for doing that. And as I said, the Mendable let me let out things. And it made me feel healthier. You see, because it definitely made me feel healthier when something on my mind and I say I come in here and I will sit down watching television or reading. And I don't get to talk about it. And when I let out the things in the Mendable, it helps. So that's a great family room.
It is.
Yeah.
And we hope it will continue for
I hope it continue, because I'm not going to leave it anyway.
And just to remind everyone that the Mendable Room does meet on Mondays and Thursdays, 8 p.m. here in the UK, 3 p.m. on the east coast of North America, 12 noon on the west coast of North America. Lots of other times in the world, but I won't recite all of those right now. All I will say is please join us. Please come in and share. It's a safe space where anybody can come, a judgment-free zone. You can share anything. You will get support. And please come in and support others. And Amos, many thanks.
And very thanks you too. It was great meeting you. It was great doing that. And I'm so happy to see you come down there. And next, in the summer, you must come and see the things that grow.